guys, it's Robin, RsIslandCrafts, and this is Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, August, I believe it's the 14th, 2018. As you can see, I'm at a different section of the craft room today. I had a request to show the crumb curtain again. It's still the same. I have the white sheet to back it, I just haven't done it yet. I was debating for a while whether or not I wanted to just use clamps, or if I wanted to make tabs, or I knew I wasn't going to do grommets, or what I wanted to do. But I think I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and put tabs on it. I was just thinking I might even want to put tabs with snaps just to make it a lot easier, but I think I'll just go with straight tabs. I am going to back it still with this cheap old Walmart white sheet. No big deal. It just needs to help block out the sun a little, and I think it'll help pop the colors a little more if it has a white background behind it. And then instead of quilting it, I'm going to tie it with embroidery floss. So on the side, I'm going to put the ties on the white side. So when you look at the white sheet from outside of the window, if you can see it, because I do have a sun blocking curtain behind this, that you'll see a whole bunch of colorful embroidery floss versus just a white sheet. It doesn't need to be quilted, it's just a curtain. I don't think I've ever seen a curtain that's quilted unless it was like, I have a quilt in my bathroom window that's of course quilted, but not regular curtains. I don't think they're ever quilted. No clue. But I don't film on this side because I have the extra light coming through the window and I'm not sure how much you can actually see me or it washes out. Plus, as you can see, this is my messy side of the room. I think a lot of people do that when they're doing videos. They just kind of fake it. You have one wall that's nice and organized and clean, and then outside of the shot you have a whole bunch of mess. But we're all crafters. We all know most craft rooms are a bit disorganized, especially when you're in the middle of doing a project. I brought this over still on my little TV dinner table because, nope, I haven't quilted it yet. More doctor's appointments this week, and I did a little bit of cleaning around the craft room. And I did work on a few things, so you'll see that, but it's not too noisy. There we go. We have the construction working on our road still right now. Right outside my driveway is a 12-foot deep hole. My whole road is actually gone. You can't get in and out of my driveway or my neighbors on this side because they're putting the sewer lines through the middle of the road. Let me tell you, this has been since hubby and I figured, I think they've been working on this since May, and we've had about enough of this noise. This constant 6 to 7 days a week of the noise and the noise and the beeping. And it's really only affecting like 3 houses because they're at this end of the street. Now, the people on that end can get in and out of their driveway and everything. We are parked on the back road. I had to mow a path through a field. The city usually mows the field, but it's all barricaded because of all this construction to keep all the, I think they're preserving, because we have burrowing owls in our backyard, so the field behind our backyard. So to preserve them and to keep the dust from getting into their holes, they've put up that black sheeting stuff all the way around it. So not only is the field like waist high, but then you've got, for me, I'm 5'6" or so, and then that black tarp all around it's crotch high, so I have to step over it very carefully. Luckily, there's a pole to balance me on. So I had to mow a path through this field with a whole bunch of sand spurs. If anyone knows what sand spurs are, they're these little, I don't know, like they're little round balls with pokey things everywhere, and I don't think they have a purpose in life other than to get stuck in your foot and cause an infection and be very painful. So we mowed through there, so we have to go through there to the back road. We're parked on the side of the road. It's been a mess. So we haven't, we get spotty mail delivery like maybe once or twice a week. The mailman either leaves the mail in someone else's mailbox, and if they're nice enough to deliver it, or he'll walk up the road a little bit to our house. But we haven't had any outgoing mail in a couple weeks. Garbage man hasn't come in a couple weeks. It's been kind of rough around here. But we're not the only ones like that, so it is what it is. There's not much we can do. Eventually, we will be forced to have city water and sewer, and we'll have something new to complain about, right? So that's not what we're here for today, to listen to Robin complain and moan and groan. I just wanted to explain to you what all that noise in the background is if you happen to hear it. Let's flip this camera around and get back to the other side of the room, and I'll show you what I did in the crafting department. I did get another dishcloth finally done. As you can see, I haven't woven in the ends. This is the last of this purple variegated yarn, and I did go up to Michael's. They had it on sale for, I think, $1.07 for a little skein of it, a little ball. So I picked up a few more colors, so you will be seeing a couple more colors of this before I have to go back to my old and boring ones. It's what happens when you buy a big skein of something and then you have to use it over and over and over again. I also finished the gather hat. This turned out really nice. I had a question to ask if these were cables, but they're not. They're just knit 2, purl 2, but you wrap your yarn around them so it pulls it together. And there was a comment that it looked like mermaid tail, and it really does look like mermaid scales, especially when I'm looking through the viewfinder like this. But then the rest of the hat is just plain. It's I made it for a lady small. It fits me just perfectly from the top to the bottom here. Around the band is fine. I think I do like mine just a little bit longer if I were to wear a hat. But if you have, not everyone has larger heads. I mean, I have about an average size head, but some people have smaller heads. So for a woman small, or maybe for a teenager, this is going to work out perfectly, because some people like to have a nice tight beanie. They don't like to have a big slouchy hat. So there's that hat. I did cast on another hat to start, but it has such very little amount on it. I'll have to show you that next week. On Sunday, I started a new embroidery. This one is I'll have to put on the screen who this is from. I can't remember where I got this. But it's a cute little unicorn, and I still have these strings coming up here because I went and I did the little vines and stuff, not thinking, because they cross over onto the other flowers. So I just went ahead and left a little piece, and then after I do these flowers, I can go ahead and just add this in. And if I decide I don't like the way that looks, then I'll just go ahead and bring this to the back and cut it off. But I thought this was a cute little unicorn. The mane is going to be really fun to make. I haven't decided if I'm just going to do regular embroidery stitches or I'm going to try to do something fancy. I'll have to look up the different options for that. But I did the wagon wheel flowers, the woven flowers, however they're called. So that was fun. I spent Sunday working on that. You can spend several hours doing an embroidery project and not have a lot to show for it. Now, along with the embroidery, I wound up a whole bunch of thread now. I was given a box of thread that very generously donated to me. Instead of just leaving them in the skein, I like to go ahead and wind them around the bobbins. That way, whenever I'm ready for it, it'll be there, and I can just grab the color I want and go. Now, this takes most of a day, too. I was doing this for a couple hours every night just till I got through it. I was probably doing about 8 to 12 skeins a night. So it does take a while to wind these up by hand. I do have that little winder, but I decided this time to try them by hand and see how it looks. I think it's about the same either way. And the other thing I worked on is, this is my Rare Bear mess. I went ahead and finished up 10 Rare Bears. If you'd like to see each individual one and hear me rattle on about them, I will be showing these off tomorrow on my Whip It Wednesday. But there's 10 of them in here. I had 8 of the heads done, and I had to do 2 more heads, and then I had to do all 10 bodies. And this took me about 3 days of maybe 6-hour days of stitching to get them all done. I only had to unpick a couple times. You're supposed to leave a spot in the body for turning and stuffing, and yeah, I forget all the time. I should make a note so I don't forget to do that. But the fabric is really fun and colorful, even though the bears are quite frustrating for me to work on. This one's really cute. The Dr. Seuss Thing 1, Thing 2. So I think he turned out really well. I didn't have enough fabric for the entire body, but I like to have just this. The blue accent worked out really well on this, on just the body parts. But that's what I worked on this week. I'm hoping to add into quilting that Valentine's quilt next week. I'm going to try to set aside a day for just doing that. we'll see what this week brings. Like I said, I have that new hat cast on. I'm hoping to cast on a cowl this week also. So I foresee a lot of knitting in my future and definitely some more hand embroidery. So a lot of the times when I'm doing those things, the quilting gets pushed to the side, but we'll see. I hope everyone has an amazing week. It's that time of year again when all the kids are going back to school. So I hope everyone transitions into that easily, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Okay, to give you a guess of how